The tilt is real. The tilt is real. This is when the tilt is real. Let's go.
Welcome in to the Sunday Tilt with your hosts, the FF chef himself, Juan Carlos Pena, and John JAWN Swanson.
It is Sunday, my dudes. This is when the tilt is real. This is when the tilt is real.
Good morning and happy Sunday. Welcome into the Fantasy Football Sunday Tilt, brought to you by The Tilt is Real. I am your host, James Crease. You can find me at Twitter or X at the FF_chef. I am not joined with anyone yet today. However, I do have my friend, Mr. Juan Carlos Pena, coming in to get the tilts rocking. So first and foremost, thank you all for joining in. I see everybody hopping in the chat. And while you're doing that, feel free to drop a like, drop a comment with your questions. It is a fantasy football start-sit show. All right. Brought to you on every Sunday morning, live from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Oh, man, it's a beautiful Sunday. It is finally sunny here in New Jersey. And we get football at 9:30 here on the East Coast, and already the Jaguars are up 7-0 after a huge Calvin Ridley touchdown. But let's get right into some of the questions. I see Zach in the chat. Good morning. How are you, Zach? Yeah. And we got Lucius. He says, morning, chef. You go Palmer or Ford today? Palmer definitely has some upside, and I'm sure he will be a topic of discussion today. And I think I would go Palmer there for the upside and Ford for the floor. Checking in here with Eric Brewer. Good morning, Eric. Good morning, guys. I need a QB on waivers. Any sleeper QBs this week? Now, this is a problem. We know Jimmy G is hurt. We know Deshaun Watson is questionable. And there are a couple of guys that I would like to mention here. And I was doing this earlier on the just for S's and G's, as I like to say it. There are some quarterbacks out there that are rostered in many leagues. And just for all intents and purposes, I'm going to use the ESPN rostership. Let's check out the matchups today. Well, I mean, Jared Goff already played, and he would have been my streamer. Matthew Stafford available in 33% of the league. CJ Stroud, 29.8. He's got a rough matchup against that Pittsburgh defense today. Do we dare say Derek Carr? I'd probably try to avoid Derek Carr today. Let's go into some schedule looks, and let's check them out. And just bear with me here. I am a one-man pony show right now, but we will get it going. Let's see. Los Angeles Rams against Indianapolis. I mean, that is somewhere where I can see Matthew Stafford actually succeeding. They will run the ball a lot with Kyren Williams. I think Kyren Williams will have a decent game today. But remember what CJ Stroud did last week in shutting down the Colts or putting up some points for fantasy against the Colts. So, Eric, I would try that. See if he's out there on your waiver wire. Like I said, about 33.4% on ESPN leagues rostership-wise. So check that out. Hopefully that all works out. And we got Zach saying, good morning, Tilt Squad. Tilters in the building. And just for reference, our man, Mr. John JAWN Swanson, will not be joining us this morning, but he did want me to mention first, it's Sunday, my dudes, and Jim Rambo has the coolest name in fantasy football. And with that, Jim Rambo says, what's up, fellas? Looking for a couple of wins today for my flex full point PPR, Ramondre or Elijah Moore. And for my tight end, Hunter Henry or Gerald Everett. So we know Ramondre has been up and down. He had that one good game week 2, and then he came back last week and did not have such a good game. I think Ramondre versus Elijah Moore, I'm going to go with Ramondre. I'm not changing that. It's a great flex option. And I will add that Elijah Moore, we don't know the severity of the injury to Deshaun Watson. I'm hearing it's a shoulder injury. He is questionable to play today, and he's going to see what happens once they start the game, right before the game time. So that's something that you need to keep an eye on this morning. I am not rolling my dice. I am putting Ramondre in the starting position in my flex over Elijah Moore. Great question, Jim. And for the second half of your question, we got a tight end question there. Let's see, Hunter Henry or Gerald Everett. Hunter Henry does have a decent matchup today against the Dallas Cowboys, and he has been utilized. And Gerald Everett, he could be the benefactor of those missing targets
for Mike
Williams. Sorry about that little technical difficulty. I think I have someone in studio coming in. 1 second, please. Let's see what we got there. Oh, you're in, dude. You just gotta get the tilt off your screen. Fire up that camera, Mr. Juan Carlos Pena coming in here. Some sooner or later. Anyway, I'll get back to the question. Hunter Henry or Gerald Everett? I'm going to go Gerald Everett here. We saw him start to get utilized at the end of the game when Mike Williams went down last week. And for some reason, I think it could be that way again. Yes, there's the option of Donald Parham, but I think Donald Parham actually is more of the 5 zone. I don't even want to say red zone. I want to say 5 zone, to where they're on the goal line, and he's going to be that sneaky little get into the zone and then pop up out of nowhere and catch the ball in the end zone. So yes, Gerald Everett should see a slight uptick in targets, and for that reason, I'm going to play him just a hair over Hunter Henry today with the Patriots. And Juan.
It is Sunday, my dude.
Oh, let's do a quick mic check there. Let's see here.
One, two.
We are not full go, and that is my fault. Hang on 1 second.
It's all good.
There we go.
We had some technical difficulties there.
My apologies. It's not you. It was us. Thank you for my lovely wife coming downstairs.
Thank you, Allie and AJ, for noticing. They're upstairs watching us on Facebook, and they said, "Hey, we can't hear you guys."
Yeah.
And in case you didn't hear me, then it is Sunday, my dudes. Shout out to Mr. Swanson, who couldn't be here with us today.
Oh yeah, they're in the chat. Can't hear you guys.
Yep.
No audio. No audio. Thanks, Foot Clan. Foot Clan.
They're
Ooh,
not
Tilt
that.
Squad.
They are the
Whoa.
Tilt Squad. We win championships around here. The Tilt Squad is here, as always.
Well, I am slipping up today.
All
right.
It's early, Chef's been on 11 minutes. You're all right. And you had to hold it down by yourself. Oh, yeah, like I was saying, my girls are winning 7-6. If anybody cares about the softball, 7-6 right now. The girls are winning. So shout out to them.
All right. So standard question. We got Mixon, Ford, James Cook, and Zach Moss. I'm definitely going to throw my hat in the ring for Zach Moss.
I like it, Chef.
Over 120 snaps so far this season. He's averaging about 24 attempts per game, which is, amazing considering he was out one of those games.
Yeah.
So I'm liking it so far. I like his usage. I don't think it changes too much with Anthony Richardson coming back. What's your take on that?
I think it helps. I don't think it hurts anybody, and I think he was able to run the ball last week against the Ravens, and he was able to do good work. So I like Zach Moss for sure as one of those. Like out of those four, I definitely want to have him as a start. I don't want to eliminate him whatsoever.
And then so we have Jerome Ford, Joe Mixon, James Cook. I think James Cook, we saw his usage start to go up.
Yeah, man. They've been letting him carry the ball. So and against the Dolphins, you're going to want to run the ball, keep them off the field, try to maintain. My problem, I think the tilt here is between Mixon and Ford, believe it or not. I don't love Mixon's matchup going on the road to Tennessee. They're pretty stout against the run. They do give up a lot through the air. I know they're trying to keep Joe Burrow healthy, and they're trying to, limit how much he throws, but he's going to have to throw to win that game. I don't think they do it on the ground with Joe Mixon. I'm not sure I don't start Ford here, man. Watson
especially
can't throw
with
it.
The Watson news not being able to throw very well.
Right.
Yeah, I guess that's the remedy right there.
Crazy that
Ford, Cook, and Moss.
Yeah, I think we're starting them over Mixon.
Wow.
I know it's crazy to say. The draft capital was completely different, but this is the time of year where that goes out the window. We can't worry about who we drafted where anymore. It's about productivity, who's got the better matchup, and whose situation is the best. And I like Ford to have a lot of carries today because of the problems with Watson, and I like Cook against the Dolphins for them to keep it on the ground, and we love Moss. So I think Mixon's the odd man out here against the stout Tennessee defense.
I agree. Very nice tilt there, Nathan. Thank you.
Very nice. He's only going to help you, Mixon, if he falls into the end zone or if they involve him heavy in the passing game, which we haven't seen so far this year. So there's no signs to indicate that would be the case.
I like it. All right, let's go up here to Bob Dole. Good morning. Lineup question. Pick 2, Lockett, Evans, Godwin, and Hopkins. All right, well, Evans is on a heater.
I know.
And we can't take a man off while he's on a heater.
No.
I'm not going to play Godwin in the same game, though.
No, we don't like to do that. It's tough. He's getting a lot of the underneath work, but the guy that you want to go to is Evans. He's getting the touchdowns. He's getting the looks in the red zone. And Baker's going to YOLO. So I like Evans to be one here.
I'm leaning towards Lockett as my other option. I know Treylon Burks is out today.
Yeah. It's a tough Bengals defense, though.
Do you think DeAndre Hopkins can outscore Tyler Lockett against the Jets? Against the Giants.
I love a Monday night comeback. I don't love that game. I think it might be a little more low scoring than everybody thinks, but I do love a Monday night comeback story. I think I might lean Lockett slightly over Hopkins. Bengals have a tough defense. That Tennessee offense looks absolutely terrible.
Atrocious.
Yeah. It's a dismal offense. I think I might go Lockett and Evans.
I'm going to go Lockett and Evans.
Lock it up.
All right. And we also, Bob Dole comes back. Hurts or Lamar Jackson? So our first quarterback question of the day. And man, how can you blame them?
This is tough. The fact that you have both these quarterbacks is a shout out to the Tilt Squad. They always have the
do
best
you need
teams.
anything else on your squad? Can you trade one of these guys away?
You got a couple hours to make a trade. Find somebody who's out there in the Deshaun Watson world and needs a quarterback right now.
That was the first question of the show, actually, was like, who is on waivers for quarterbacks? And it's a thin line. It really is.
Jameis Winston.
Matthew Stafford may be available in one quarterback leagues.
Yeah.
And we talked about that. Only 33% of ESPN rostership.
All right.
So
All right.
that's definitely
And that's
an
a good
option
matchup
today.
against
It's a
the
great
Colts.
matchup
Yeah,
today against
yeah.
the Colts. So Lamar Jackson.
I think I'm going Hurts. I'm not even going to think about it too much. The Browns defense has been on a tear. They're just doing whatever they want to quarterbacks. Myles Garrett is playing out of his mind right now, and they've always given Lamar a little bit of trouble. So I think I'm going to go with Hurts against the Commanders today.
I agree. I definitely agree. All right, let's see here. Dame Roche coming in. Good morning, guys. Hope you all
morning, Dame.
are well. We are. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And he needs a running back 2 and a flex. He says he has Eckler, but he has not been playing since week 1. We know,
Yeah,
and
we feel it.
waiting for him to come
With
back.
bated breath. Yes, sir.
So his options are Gainwell, Achane, Zeke, Jalen Warren, Sky Moore, or Cooks. And I'm assuming that's Brandon Cooks. I'm definitely going to play Achane again.
You're going to ride the hot hand?
I'm going to ride the hot hand. And
I feel so scared about that as a
publication came out this morning. Ian Rappaport reported it, saying that he was going to get more touches today. They came out and said that.
Okay.
Due to his uptick in work last week and the production that he came out with on the other side of it. So I am firing up Achane everywhere I can. I want pieces of this Buffalo-Miami game.
Indeed.
It's one of the highest over-unders on the game on the week. And it just seems like Achane like really just fits the offense.
He does. He looks just like Mostert. If you took their number off their back and you saw them running, he's got the same little like pitter patter kind of moves, and then
he's doing things in his rookie season that we wished Mostert did.
Yeah,
back when he was with San Francisco.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't mind that one at all. I know Zeke outworked Ramondre last week, so maybe a revenge game situation. I don't know.
I mean, Sky Moore is a total dart throw.
Yeah. Could go off crazy tonight. Could be one of those like he's here now games in New York under the lights or whatever. But you can't trust that offense and who they're going to give it to in the red zone.
No.
Same problem with Gainwell, as far as who's going to get the carries, who's going to get the work. So I don't trust it there. So.
I don't trust Gainwell. I don't trust Zeke. I don't trust Sky Moore.
Nope.
And I'm not trusting Brandon Cooks because the Dallas offense has been lagging, and that leaves me with Jalen Warren. What do we do here? He's going up against the 28th ranked run defense for fantasy running backs. And I think he's an option here.
I think you might have to do it.
They are going to have to pass the ball.
Right.
They are going to have to run the ball. And
their offensive line looks really bad. And Najee looks sluggish.
And Houston's been looking pretty good.
Yeah, they haven't looked too bad. But if you're going to
shut down the Jags in the second half last week.
Put it like this. I think he out targets pretty much everybody on this list. He should end up with those targets out of the backfield. So
I'm gonna go Achane and Jalen Warren.
I'll put Zeke close to B.
Okay,
instead
that's fair. So you have another option.
Yeah, because I'm thinking that Zeke might be able to get the carries, and he's definitely going to get the goal line work against his old team. I think that feels to me like something that could happen game script wise. So I'm going to consider him. If you went Dame Roche, if you went with Zeke over Jalen Warren, I wouldn't be mad. But I think definitely Achane and Jalen Warren here. Good tilt though.
And he also says he needs a flex PPR in a PPR league. He says he has Cooper, Zay Flowers, Jerry Jeudy, and Ramondre.
Oh, boy.
That's a tough one. That is super.
I know it's early and we just got on. This might be it right here early.
Yeah, I mean the early question of Amari Cooper wide open against the Baltimore Ravens today. I mean, he's going to get Brandon Stevens on the right side. Like,
it's a really good matchup. If Watson was fully healthy, this might be a slam dunk that way. But because he's not, I don't know. I don't know that I don't start Ramondre. I don't know that I don't start Ramondre here. It was over 200 yards that the Cardinals got on the ground on them last week.
Do we even mention Cortland Sutton against the terrible Chicago defense?
Oh, yeah. Well, Jeudy too. So, yeah, I mean.
Like all four of these guys, like if you look at it, Zay Flowers, he's the only healthy wide receiver in that receiving room. We have OBJ and
Rashad
Bateman out on injury. So Zay Flowers definitely has the potential to have an uptick in targets going up against Martin Emerson, who's the only bad spot in the Cleveland defense.
You're absolutely right. Yeah, Newsom's awesome. Ward is awesome. Yeah, so those are tough matchups if he were to have those. But Emerson, yeah, he should be able to beat But I don't know that I don't like Judy against the Bears, and I love Ramondre. I think it's still in a PPR league. I think I put Ramondre in there one way or another. If the defense just gave up 200 yards to the Cardinals, I feel like they'll give up some yards to the Patriots.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I really don't. I'm torn between Ramondre and Zay Flowers, to be honest.
Yeah, it would be for me between those two. But if I'm going to lean one way or the other, I think Ramondre gets more work and is more guaranteed to have a shot at a good game. I like Zay Flowers a lot. Don't get me wrong, and it's a really good matchup. That's why these tilts are so tough.
This one's a tough one, man. Dallas has the third toughest run defense
on paper, but not last week.
Yeah, not last week. Well, I mean,
everything went bad
on paper in
week
1, 40-0. You know,
yeah, that's true. That helps the stats, right?
Yeah, I think that helped escalate their situation a little bit.
You know how Belichick gets down, bro. He's going to want to control the clock, run the ball, pound it out, and I think that's why I think there's a little bit of an uptick for Zeke, and he's in the consideration for a flex this week. But Ramondre is an RB1 this week, and everybody else is fringe right here for me as far as being a wide receiver one. So I'll take Ramondre in this tilt.
Oh, I'm so tempted to hit the button because I am tilting. I'm going to go the Zay Flowers route. I really am. I think he has. They're going to have to do something. They can't just run it against Cleveland.
Yeah, and he's the only one. I mean, Andrews is back healthy, so you never know. But I got to go Ramondre.
All right, I'll roll with you, but Zay Flowers is my 1B in the situation, and it's a very good tilt.
It's a good problem to have because all four are good options, but the difference between winning and losing sometimes is making that tough decision, that tough call like this. This is one of those tilts that's really, really hard.
And welcome in back, Nathan. He says Zay Flowers or Atwell Standard League. It's hands down Zay Flowers.
Standard or not, he's going to get the yardage. He gets a little yak, and if he's going to get anyone in the red zone that's not named Mark Andrews, it's going to be Zay Flowers. So
fair, very fair. All right, let's see. And lastly, Dame wants to know quarterbacks, Fields or Purdy. Fields has not been looking good this season.
Yeah,
I actually talked to Larry Addison. Shout out to one of the Tilt Squad.
Yes, sir.
He writes in every week on Facebook to the Tilt is Real Facebook page. Check it out. Possibly you.
Go subscribe.
Yeah.
Go follow.
But this was the information that I was trying to pass on to him, that Purdy has been consistent throughout. All right. At least 2 touchdowns through the first 3 games. He possibly has Deebo Samuel coming in today. We don't know, regardless of the fact the matchup is just beautiful.
Yeah, up until last week, the Cardinals were one of the easiest matchups, and it's just Dallas just struggled because they turned the ball over. But they did drive it, they did move it, they went down to the red zone and just couldn't score, and then had some key turnovers. So it wasn't that they were great, and you got to trust the Shanahan offense to do well. The Broncos have to bounce back. They just got 70 points put on them last week, dude. If they don't play good defense today, there might be no hope for that team.
I don't think they're going to play good defense. I just don't think that the offense for the Chicago Bears is anywhere near where it needs to be to actually be a contending team in any football situation right now.
I don't know. I think they're going to run the ball a little bit today.
They way the Dolphins play the backyard ball.
Yeah, exactly. The Dolphins ran for 300 yards last week, over 300 yards against them last week. So there is a world where Khalil Herbert and Roschon, and those guys get rolling, and then maybe Fields, a little option here and there. They need to get him running in order to get that offense going. So I could see where that would be something, but it's safer to play Purdy. I feel like Purdy's the safer play.
I think Purdy is the play, to be honest. I mean, even if San Francisco turns around and is totally blowing out Arizona, which Arizona has not let any team blow anyone out.
No. They're in games.
And I think he will throw it. He's consistent. He's a solid floor, 2 touchdown kind of quarterback.
Yeah.
He's not going to win you a week, but he's going to prevent you from hitting that low floor of Justin Fields that I just can't trust.
Yeah, until we see it one time, you kind of don't even want to put him in.
And it's funny, and I'll stay on this topic for a second while we're here. Did you know Chase Claypool today is inactive?
Wow.
Because of his remarks.
I was going to say coach's decision, huh?
Coach's decision. They benched his ass. So, yeah. I mean, he stinks at football anyway. So, let's be honest.
Yeah, Purdy's been over 200, had 2 touchdowns in 2 of the 3 games. Going up against Arizona, yeah, you got to trust them to get 250 to 300 and score a couple times, get 2 touchdowns for you. So,
And Adam Polio jumping in. Hey, good morning, Adam. 2 questions. He says, Jacoby Myers or Tutu Atwell. Also, Josh Jacobs is in a get-right game, so I currently have Mostert on the bench. Do you think that's the right call?
Woof.
Ooh, that's tough, man.
I know the Chargers is a good matchup, and it's a get-right game, but there's no Jimmy G today. Are we talking Brian Hoyer? Is it Aiden O'Connell?
It's Aiden O'Connell.
It's Aiden O'Connell.
Aiden O'Connell. So you know they're going to run the ball.
Right, but how efficiently
can you run the ball against Los Angeles, though? The Chargers? I know you can pass against them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not a great defense. Brandon Staley's supposed to be some kind of guru. I don't love their defense in general. I think they can be had in a bunch of different ways. I'm not scared of the defense. What I am scared of is that quarterback and whether or not they can have any kind of production.
So
I think I might start Mostert over Josh Jacobs today.
I am close to it.
If I had to make that call, I think I make that call. I don't trust Jacobs.
I think I know that Mostert's going to be getting some work. How much work? Because with the word of Devin Achane coming out and not saying that he's going to get more usage, I don't fully believe that yet.
Achane busted the long touchdowns, and Achane had those little shovel pass touchdowns. Otherwise, it was Mostert they were looking for around the goal line. So the Miami offense relies on him. So for who's going to score a touchdown, I'd rather have Mostert in that game than Achane. But I think I'm starting either one of those guys over Jacobs. I just don't like what I'm seeing from the offense so far this year on the Raiders. It's been pretty terrible for him.
And then do we go Jacoby Myers or Tutu Atwell?
I think for the same reasons, I might start Atwell over Jacoby Myers. Aiden O'Connell. I mean, come on.
He actually
like
looked really good in the
okay.
preseason.
I know he looked okay in the preseason, but that's the preseason.
And he was the 3rd string, and they moved him up to 2nd string mainly because he's better than Brian Hoyer right now.
Yeah, well, it's Brian Hoyer. He's been around forever.
Tutu Atwell has been getting work. Like, this is the things that we get stuck with on a Sunday morning, dude.
I like it because then you do deep dives and you really start to think about things. But the better matchup is Tutu Atwell against the Colts.
He's got a solid consistency of targets, 8, 9, and 9 in his first 3 games, and those are against decent defenses. Like, and he's been a weapon.
And Stafford's missed him a couple times, but he's taken those shots down the field. This might be the week where he connects with him on a deep ball, and then you regret not starting him. I just don't like the situation with the Raiders whatsoever. There's some teams and situations that I kind of just want to steer clear of, and the Raiders are one of them right now.
I mean, Jacoby, in the 2 games that he did play, he's getting a lot of work. All right. I've never seen someone where, and I heard this on a podcast this week, where your star receiver is getting 40% of the target share, yet you are still getting over 25% of the target share.
They refuse to throw it to Hunter Renfrow. Nobody else is really lining up. Ever since Waller's gone, they really don't have a weapon at tight end that they're using because they need to leave them in to protect and help because the O-line isn't really good. But you got to see the history, I guess, of McDaniels, Welker, Edelman, Jacoby Myers himself, in New England. So I feel like, man,
it's tough. It's a tough situation. I think the ceiling for Jacoby Myers may be slightly higher with the matchup. However,
Tutu's got a good matchup.
He's got a good matchup, but not a barn burner of a matchup where it could get out of hand for scoring.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Tutu here, saying that he is the safer play, consistently getting 8 to 9 targets per game versus Jacoby Myers, 10 to 12 targets. And hear me out. This is why I'm saying this, because I think they are going to try to establish the run here first with Josh Jacobs due to the quarterback switch, due to the injury to Jimmy G.
Yeah, let's go Tutu Atwell.
That's
Tutu Atwell with Stafford. That's a very,
Adam.
very good tilt, Adam. But I'm going to go with it. I'll go with Tutu. And I'm starting Raheem Mostert over Jacobs.
And Blue Gov coming back in. He says, pick one running back, one flex in PPR. Running back Stevenson, Madison, Achane, Brandon Ayuk, and Brian Robinson.
It's got to be Brian. And not starting anyone against the Eagles run defense. So I'm going to eliminate him quick. Can't trust
one running back, one flex.
I'm starting Ramondre.
Yeah, you kind of have to. I'm not do we trust Madison to have a repeat of the actual, Alexander the Great game that he had last week, that even though he fumbled like twice and they didn't call it, but
He's got to keep the ball under control. I'm going Ramondre for sure. And then now you want to play hot hand upside with Achane, or you want to trust Ayuk. Like if I knew Debo was out, I definitely would start Ayuk, but Ayuk's been all right, man. And they're playing the Cardinals. That's a good defense to go up against as far as receivers. I think I go Ramondre and Ayuk or Ramondre and Achane. I won't be mad at you whichever way you tilt.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be mad either way. I'm going to check the injury report and just see. All right, so
still got like another hour.
I think Devo does not play.
I mean, if you're going to hold him out of game, this would be the game.
He did not practice at all this week. All right. He has 2 injuries that he's dealing with, ribs and a knee injury. All right. Now, Brandon Ayuk, he is dealing with a shoulder. He was limited Wednesday and Thursday, but Friday he did get a full participation in. So I think Brandon Ayuk.
I think I used to play. They play the Cowboys next week, the Niners do. And if you're going to rest Debo for a game, that'd be the game that I'd rest him for. And I'd want to have him back next week against the Cowboys. So I would go Ramondre and Ayuk here.
I think Ayuk has a great matchup against Marco Wilson.
Yeah, dude.
And he has been his what's his name? Purdy.
Yeah.
Purdy's favorite target. So I think I'm gonna go Ayuk here. Definitely over Robinson. Achane would be my second. And me personally, I'm over Alexander Madison. I know he has a great matchup today against Carolina. But mind you, that Cam Akers will be active for this game. And they made an announcement in the locker rooms. The coach came out and said, hey, listen, if you fumble the ball, you're riding the pine.
You can't have it. Minnesota already had 7 turnovers through the first 3 games. Like it's really, really bad. They didn't turn the ball over that much all last season. They're
0-3 because of those turnovers.
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
They're making their own mistakes more so than the other teams.
They are. Absolutely. Because their offense moves the ball down the field. They've been down in the red zone, and then that's when they make their mistake. So, yeah. I like Madison, but I don't like the Akers situation coming in behind him. And like you said, if he fumbles early, it's a wrap. He's done. So I would go 1, Stevenson, 2, A, Ayuk, and 2, B, Achane.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Ball glove, I hope it works out for you. Good luck today. Yeah. Zach wants to know, Michael Thomas, Pickens, Rachaad White, flex 2. Am I playing him today? Probably. I don't know.
We still got to tell him either way.
Michael Thomas, Pickens, Rachaad White. Rachaad White going up against New Orleans. So, no. I think you're going to be playing Michael Thomas and Pickens regardless of the matchups after that. Yeah, I don't see I mean, George Pickens, you're going to have to play Deontay Johnson out on IR.
Yep. Pickens is the one. He's the target there.
And then Michael Thomas has been a solid second receiver, and they've got a great matchup. He'll get the Carlton Davis matchup today.
If he's back.
Because
he wasn't playing last week, and it was just Jamil Dean out there trying to make it work.
I could check that out a little bit if we want to dive a little bit deeper into that.
Well, he's, the thing with Michael Thomas is he's interesting because of, like what you said, the consistency that he's been showing as far as getting targets and getting looks. He's playing 78% of the snaps or more. He's had at least 8 targets every single game this year and put up over 50 yards. It's just that he hasn't found the end zone. And this might be the week that he actually finds the end zone, and they look for him down there.
So the injury report on Carlton Davis was that it is a toe injury. So
tough.
Yeah. Limited Wednesday, full participation on Thursday, and then limited again on Friday. Do you think that's because of the reaction of that full practice on Thursday?
They had to limit
is
him.
that a telltale sign that he is not fully healthy? And
he's probably going to give it a go.
Maybe in and out.
Yeah, if he's in and out of the game, or if he's banged up in any way where he doesn't get that push, if you can't react fast enough, Michael Thomas is going to be open. Now, he's the slant king. Dude.
And remember, we may be looking at Derek Carr this week. We may be looking at Jameis Winston. Derek Carr not ruled out in this game yet. Right. They apparently this morning or 3:00 this morning, they said that he was going to try to give it a go.
It's about pain management with the AC joint. Every time that you have that injury up there, it's whether or not you can deal with the pain. Well, how much pain are you going to deal with throwing deep balls? You're not. So you're going to throw it underneath. You're going to throw a lot of short targets.
Oh, who's back today? Alvin Kamara.
Oh, he might get like 10 targets today.
Oh, see how that works out.
Yeah.
I still like Mike Thomas over Rachaad White. I'm going to do that. And for just to keep this moving, I'm going to say Pickens as well. Good tilt there, Zach. All right, let's go. My man, JAC. Who should I start at flex? Options are Josh Kelly, Ramondre Stevenson, Sutton, and Judy. We have a lot of Ramondre Stevenson questions.
Yeah, and at the beginning of the year, I wouldn't have thought so, Chef. I know, like, he might have struggled a little bit, but I just feel like it's time, like, for Ramondre to start shining and Ramondre to come through. Like, this should have been an clear and obvious, like, I'm starting Ramondre. But now you have questions. Sutton put up good numbers against the Dolphins last week.
And they've got a great matchup this week against the Bears. But how much are they actually going to have to throw the ball in this one?
I think the Bears are missing all of their secondary, Chef.
Yeah, they are.
Every starter on their secondary, even their nickel corner, is out. I think they have 5 DBs out in this game.
All right. So
it makes it tough.
Yeah, it definitely making it tougher.
It makes it a really
it's between Stevenson, Sutton, and Judy. I guess I'm gonna take Judy out of that.
Yeah. I'll take Sutton over Judy as far as production for today, yeah.
And for all intents and purposes, if it's PPR, I'm probably going to roll with Ramondre. If it's standard, I'm going Sutton.
I think I'm going Ramondre either way. So
wow.
For the purposes, yeah, I'm going Ramondre either way.
Juan thinks Ramondre is going to have a huge day today.
I think so. It's the only way. The only possible way that the Patriots are going to win that game is if Ramondre has 18 to 20-something carries, 18 or more, 15, 20 carries, and he produces at least 100 yards and they can control the clock. And that's the only way. And then if they use him in the passing game, that's even better.
I'm trying to think of a scenario that Ramondre got shut down running and it's just not hitting me. I guess it was last week against the Jets, 19 for 59.
It's the Jets. It's not the Cowboys who gave up 200 against the Cardinals. You know, that's the only way. Parsons loves to get up the field. They don't really have that stout inside run defense. If you're going to attack the Cowboys in any way, it's running the ball.
Fair enough. All right. I'm going to go Sutton for the ceiling.
All right. I'm staying with Ramondre.
That's fine. That's a good one.
Good tilt, Jay.
And Adam Polio wants to know, Everett or Kittle? It's Kittle. It's Kittle.
Yeah.
Kittle should have a great game. And if Debo is out, I think I'm firing up Kittle regardless.
Either way.
Yeah, but it's definitely Kittle. It's a good one. And AJ says, hi. Shout out. Oh, lost sound on YouTube. Can't hear you guys. No audio.
That was a rough little start.
We're a little behind here. And then shout out Billy. Shout out. What's up, Bill?
My man.
And we're going to go back into it. James Mendez, sup, fellas? PPR flex, Sutton or DJ Moore? Also, Russ Wilson or Watson. I'm going to pair Russ Wilson and Sutton. Stack it up, baby.
You have to.
That's a stackalicious
that's very
matchup if I ever saw one. And then kicks from Mike coming in. He said, yo, my bad for coming in late, boys. Good morning to you guys. And he's coming in with one. He says PPR wide receiver in flex, Mike Evans, Debo, D-Hop, Najee, Thielen, and Tank Dell.
Ooh.
So we need one wide receiver, one flex. Mike Evans.
Start him.
Debo is hurt.
Although can we talk about Mike Evans for a second?
Yeah, sure, of course.
I just
we have 2 hours to talk on. It's fine.
I just want to make sure we get to all the tilts and we got them lining up. But I want to make sure I have my crazy stat correct with Mike Evans.
All right. Well, while you do that, I'm gonna take Najee Harris out of this equation here because I am not liking the usage. I am not liking the production. I understand that he has a good matchup against Houston. But man, dude, Adam Thielen looks very, very interesting for some reason.
Yep. I don't think I'm going to start Mike Evans, Chef.
No? Tell me why.
4 catches for 69 yards is the best game he's ever had against Marshawn Lattimore.
There we go. Okay.
I went all the way back to 2019 real quick because I just wanted to make sure that I went back to check. And that was when he did it. Is in 2020, he had like 4 catches for 64 yards. So he shuts him down every single time. He's been ejected out of a game for fighting.
This one's going to get
with Marshawn Lattimore. It's always scrappy between those two teams, and those two guys go head up. And I think I'm going to skip out on Mike Evans here, man. We're going to have to pivot.
Well, we can't pivot to Debo because he's questionable and probably won't play.
I'll start Tank Dell.
Okay.
I'll start Tank Dell over Mike Evans today.
All right. I'm for that.
All right, so if we need 2 players here, let's try to find the other one.
Is it Thielen, Najee, or D-Hop?
Woof.
Thielen's been doing really good.
I know.
And he's going up against Minnesota.
Revenge
game.
I think we start those 2. I know it's a wacky world that we live in. I promise it's a wacky world. I think you have to start Thielen and you have to start Tank Dell. I can't start Mike Evans in good conscience today. He might go off and Baker YOLOs and all that stuff, but I wasn't thinking about Marshawn Lattimore earlier when we had the other Till too. I'm going to move him way down in my ranks because the history just tells you that it's a really bad matchup for him.
Yeah, and Jonathan Mingo dealing with injury, may not play. I thought DJ Shark was going to be a little uptick in target share, but we have Bryce Young coming back in today. Andy Dalton came out last week, threw the ball a ton. I'm not sure if it stays that way. We have a Miles Sanders question mark today, so fire up Chuba Hubbard. I'm going to go with Thielen and Tank Dell, and I can't believe I even said that. That is wild.
It is wild, but you don't want 4 catches for 69 yards and no touchdowns. The ceiling is limited with Mike Evans in that Marshawn Lattimore matchup. I mean, it could be the first time he ever breaks them, but if you have 7 or 8 games of sample size where one guy struggles that hard against one cornerback, you got to pay attention to it.
Yeah, and obviously Tank Dell, the favorite target and best friend of CJ Stroud.
Yeah, right about now. I mean, he likes Nico Collins a little bit too, but Tank Dell's his favorite for sure.
All right, Caden, the Colts fan, he wants to know 10-man PPR, keep 4. Just got offered Higgins, Metcalf for Lamb and Lockett. He's leaning Higgins and Metcalf side.
No, it's really tough.
I mean, it's a keeper league. I think
you want to keep Higgins and Metcalf, I guess.
I mean, can we keep Metcalf and Lamb?
Yeah.
Can we trade Lockett for Higgins? And
probably not.
Yeah, I think I like the Higgins Metcalf side.
You got to go Higgins Metcalf side, especially in a keeper league where you need the youth, and then Lockett's getting up there in age.
Right.
I'll take Higgins and Metcalf. Higgins is eventually going to be somebody's number 1. Like, he's going somewhere and getting paid big money.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get a contract.
They're not going to be able to. They can't afford it.
Kicks from Mike coming back in. He says PPR wide receiver 2 and flex. Puka, Judy, Tank Dell, Quentin Johnston, and Jerome Ford. So we got a wide receiver 2 and a flex.
Puka and Tank Dell.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because for the Broncos, I don't trust them. I'd rather have Puka, and then Tank Dell, favorite target, like you said, of CJ Stroud. Quentin Johnston, we got to see what's going on with Palmer or how that's going to shake out and who's going to get those targets. Ford could get a lot of work today, but I'd rather have Tank Dell and Puka.
Fair. That's a fair assessment, and I'm with you on it.
I might put both of those boys in my dailies today.
Puka and Tank Dell?
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Matthew McConnell says, my Flowers Lockett debate continues, or would you start both over Kyron Williams today? I have a similar predicament in one of my leagues. I did play Tank Dell over Kyron Williams.
Lockett saved you last week with a last-minute touchdown. He wasn't having a great week. He
was also dealing with a little bit of injury.
Right. So I think I go Flowers and Kyron Williams here. I think I like that better.
Kyron is going to get all the carries against that Indianapolis Colts defense, who does allow a decent amount of run. Let's check that out real fast. If I can find it.
Yeah, I'd rather trust the workhorse back that's going to get the touches, whether it's carries or, targets out of the backfield, over Lockett, who saved me last week with a touchdown late in the game. And I'm
gonna go Flowers and Kyron.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's roll.
Yeah, that's a pretty good assessment there.
It's a good tilt, but I'll go that way.
All right, and Sir Cam Lane's coming in. He says full PPR: Miles Sanders or Devin Achane.
This is where the plot thickens, Chef.
Yeah, it does.
This is where the plot thickens.
I
mean.
This is why the tilt is real, man.
This is when the tilt is real.
Yeah. You're going up against Minnesota. I think I'm going to go Achane.
Yeah, going Achane.
Miles Sanders is
questionable,
and he showed up late in the week with a groin injury. We don't like to see that. Like that's where it's at, really. I mean, I'm not betting on the Miles Sanders actually even playing in this game. And if he does, he's going to be on a limited snap share.
Yeah, he's expected to play, but even then, I fire up Chuba Hubbard today, and he's going to get some work. He's getting 60% of the snaps when he was healthy, so he's not on the field all the time. Achane just came off that game. I mean, and like you said, probably a high-scoring game, shootout affair, lots of points in that Bills-Dolphins game. Let's ride the hot hand. I can't be wearing this jersey and not go Achane.
That's for sure. All right, let's get back into it. If I can find it. Minnie Jordan showing up, says, good morning. Fields or Stroud today? This is the last chance for Fields. It really is. Like, if he can't do it today, am I taking it? No, probably not. I'm probably going to go Stroud.
It's the Steelers, though.
I understand that.
The Broncos just gave up a 70 burger. The Steelers, I mean, Stroud's been on a roll. Again, don't leave when you're on a heater, all that. He's playing great. He's putting up fantastic numbers. I totally get it. They're better than you think they are or whatever, but TJ Watt, 6 sacks already or 6.5, whatever he has.
I mean, CJ Stroud is on the record. He is on pace to be the most sacked quarterback in NFL history in his rookie season.
And it's another Houston guy that he's taken from that is Derek Carr. Or David Carr, sorry.
Well, I mean, Laramie Tunsil's still out.
Yeah. They're missing their offensive line. They're missing Quisenberry, the center. Tunsil's out at left tackle. And I'm pretty sure the other replacement guys are out too. So they're banged up. I'm not taking any part of that. I'm going to go with Justin Fields. Has to do it against a team that gave up 70 last week, and you got to run the ball. He's going to run the ball. I'm going to trust that he runs it for 80 yards or so today and gets you some kind of fantasy production, maybe even runs into the end zone.
All right.
It's a tough one, Minnie Jordan. That's a good tilt because you want to start Stroud. Stats say Stroud, but not against the Pittsburgh defense, not with the offensive line completely missing. It's one thing to miss your left tackle and maybe you got to move things around to protect slide protection, but they're missing their starting left tackle, starting center, and starting right tackle today, and 2 other swing offensive linemen that replaced them. So when you're that depleted on the O-line, something's got to give.
Yeah, man. I am torn on this. I am so against Justin Fields and that offense, but it is a sweet matchup.
It's the play. It's the play. A team that gave up 70 points and 350 plus yards on the ground last week. It has to be Fields this week. If he doesn't do it this week, he's never going to do it. Like, you can give up on him after this week if he doesn't produce something for you fantasy wise.
Fair enough. All right, I'll roll with you one last time on Fields, but that's about it.
It's a tough
This
call.
is the straw that breaks Fields back, or the Stroud that breaks Fields back. One of the two. Adam Rush going in. Morning, Adam. How are you? And we have TS coming in.
TS.
Excuse me. He says,
Tilt Squad.
Sitting Evans for Puka. He's got Walker and Kyron in at RB and Tyreek as his wide receiver 1, of course. He says, who do I flex? Mostert or Swift? Now he's leaning Swift, so he doesn't have 4 players on the same team playing, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if that game ends up being a dud or we end up losing to the Bills, I get it. I mean, with that kind of offense, I don't think I care. But, I mean, Swift's on a heater too.
He's got Walker and Kyron in at running back. I think I just roll with Swift.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not a hard question.
I don't know. Between Mostert and Swift, I guess Swift has been getting to work. I know Gainwell, they were bringing him back slowly, and he was getting back to health, so he is healthy now. And it is the Commanders.
Give me Swift. You have to.
Let's go.
Yeah. All right. Well,
it's a good team though, TS. Good luck whoever's playing against TS.
Yeah. Well, drop your comments in the comments section here, Juan. We got a little bit of a pause, and I guess we
caught up, huh?
Yeah, we finally caught up, and people are still in the chat. So hey, if you're here and you have a question, you're tilting, hit us up.
Tilt on with us.
Appreciate you, TS. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And I'll try to give you some updates on that Jaguars game. It's currently 17-0 Jacksonville.
I know Ridley had a 30-yard touchdown to start the game.
Yeah. Let me see some stats here.
So far, Travis Etienne has 6 carries for 20 yards, and he has a couple catches for 13 more.
And Bijan Robinson lighting it up. 7 carries for 18 yards, 4 receptions for 26.
There you go.
ETN looks okay. Bijan, top scorer in fantasy right now. Trevor Lawrence looking good, though. 13 for 18, a 129 and a touchdown. Also has a rushing first down, 29 yards on the ground. Christian Kirk. Let's talk about that. 6 for 72 already.
Wow.
And guys,
this is awesome because it was at 7:45 in the morning. I'm getting a text message from the chef.
Yes. It was late last night and I was getting ready to go to bed and my eyes were starting to close. And I said, wait, if I, for some reason, sleep in tomorrow morning, I am going to miss the opportunity to claim it as Christian Kirk Day.
Indeed.
So the Jags have to win by 3, which they are obviously doing right now, 17-0 in the first half. And Christian Kirk, I believe, correct
50.5.
50.5. So he already hit the over on 50.5 receiving yards.
Jags are winning by 3. 17, but yeah.
I just need an anytime Christian Kirk touchdown, and you're going to see this guy going crazy.
He's going to be a little happy with that, yeah.
Sure. What's the numbers on Ingram right now? 3 for 11.
You need 45.5 from him and the other one.
Yeah, so I need about 35 more yards. So I need Atlanta to put some points on the board to keep this interesting so the Jaguars don't get stagnant and just hit the run game with Tank Bigsby and ETN.
Yeah, you need Kirk and Ingram to score on the one, the long shot, the big money one. But the Christian Kirk to get in the end zone, why not? They're moving the ball that way and he's getting all those targets. It's only a matter of time before they get in the red zone and maybe he gets a look.
I am hoping that Evan Ingram does something here, and they're at halftime already, which is just wild.
The game's flying by.
Yeah. He said, all right, so TS says, thank you. He said Kelsey at tight end as well, so he's stacked. Very nice. And Adam Rush, I know you are a Big Blue fan. Am I taking it tomorrow night?
Big Blue taking it tomorrow night? It's a tough game.
I'm going to say no.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to say no. I don't think that the defense is 100% yet. And we just had a touchdown from the Jaguars. I'm sorry to break in here, but it was a punt return for a touchdown. Or no, that was the halftime. That was the second touchdown. My apologies. I should stop watching recaps while I'm on air. Back to the Giants game. No, I don't think so. Without Saquon Barkley, they're having trouble moving the ball.
O-line was banged up too. Thomas and Evan Neal were both injured.
Thomas is out this week, I believe. So that's going to be a problem. But Matt Breida, he should do some work, but did not look very delightful.
No. I'm surprised they didn't sign a running back.
I'm not.
No,
I'm not. I mean, they did sign a running back. They gave Saquon Barkley a 1-year deal.
I meant one of those like, Kareem Hunt, Leonard Fournette types,
Yeah. I mean, I think they know that the writing's on the wall that this year isn't going to be their year.
Probably.
They're still dealing with building the receiving core. Wan'Dale Robinson could be a very sneaky start this week up against Seattle, who has been, giving up some points. But I think Seattle's offense just does the trick.
Yeah.
It's going to be a high-scoring affair on a Monday Night Football game.
Yeah. Weather's going to work out, too. It's been bad the last few days, but it's going to work out.
Beautiful. I just don't see the Giants winning, and I'm never betting on Big Blue.
Sorry, Adam. Even the chef doesn't believe.
Yeah. Well, from Big Blue to Ball Glove Blueprint, he says his brother needs a flex in PPR. He says Achane or Tutu Atwell.
Do it again.
PPR.
Is it 2-2? Is it the Targets and the Colts matchup?
Yeah, but I don't know, man.
He's so exciting. It was so electrifying. Everybody's so happy with it. Like, he was so electric. And then you probably paid up or gave up your ball glove. You probably picked them up off of waivers and used your priority on them, or you spent fab if you're on sleeper for them. So
maybe, unless you're like me and just drafted them everywhere.
Okay.
In my 3 redraft leagues, I took Achane.
I know you took them from me right here in ours. What do you mean? I take Moser. You know I was taking Achane later.
The matchup says go with Atwell. Matthew Stafford up against Indianapolis, back and forth scoring.
The level-headed play is Atwell. But if you're trying to hit a home run,
if for upside, give me Achane.
Especially if you have a long, I don't know, but see, the long touchdown bonus could go to Atwell too, because he's due to catch one of those long ones from Stafford. Like, it's been happening. It just hasn't connected yet.
That's because Van Jefferson's still on the field. They need to get rid of him.
I know. He throws it deep to Van Jefferson a lot.
27 years old, and he's still on his rookie deal.
Yeah, he doesn't get the separation that he needs on deep balls. Like, you see it, it's always a contested catch on those deep passes, and Atwell's wide open, and Stafford's just not hitting them yet. So, yeah, let's go 2-2.
Give me Achane.
I'm going to go 2-2.
I'm going to break glass. Go Achane.
Uh-oh.
You know, Juan, we have these situations like every hour on this show where we just can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Tilt of the week. I'm going to stay in the fire with Devon Achane today up against the Buffalo Bills. And yes, it is a tilt ball glove blueprint. Your brother has a great matchup. All right. He's got Achane versus Tutu Atwell. And you're not wrong either way you go. I think the upside of Devon Achane in a high scoring game is probably the better bet. Going to get some work on the ground. Definitely going to get some passes thrown his way. And possibly could find the end zone. Yes, the matchup against the Bills is a little tough, but you don't want to be on the side that most of the Devon Achane managers were last week, watching him put down a 60 burger on your bench, and in my case, all 3 leagues. So I'm going to play Devon Achane in hopes that he repeats a similar performance. I'm not saying he's going to rush for 203 yards against Buffalo, but I like the receiving options. I like the fact that he did get 18 attempts on the ground with only a 41% snap share. And if his attempts go up and say it's a 50-50 split, I mean, you could be looking at 20 attempts.
Wow, that'd be crazy.
Probably 110 yards on the ground with a tutty. And then you factor in the receiving work. I mean, he got 4 targets last week. There's no Braxton Berrios this week. There's no River Craycraft. They're both out. Jalen Waddle is back, so I'm not sure how much that is going to affect the receiving part of it. But I think it's almost a bet that you can rely on Achane to easily fill in your flex position. 2-2 is a good second for me.
I'm going to take 2-2. The Bills haven't allowed more than 289 yards all year in any game. They've been playing lights out. They've been holding teams down. I know they probably won't do that to the Dolphins because we're a really good offense, but I don't see how he's gotten 8, 9, and 9 targets in each of the last 3 weeks. He found the end zone last week. Good matchup against the Colts. This is PPR. I'm going to start Tutu Atwell and hope that Achane does get the production uptick that you want. Like, maybe he does, but I don't see it happening clearly over Tutu.
I mean, Tutu wide receiver 15 right now. He's doing his thing, even with Puka Nacua on the field.
Yeah, I'm
so interested to see what's going to happen if Cooper Kupp comes back.
Yeah, well, I mean, they might just turn into one of those really high-powered offenses where you can't stop anybody.
Yeah,
so we'll see. But I'm going to take Tutu in this tilt. Great tilt, though.
Tutu has a safe floor. If you want to go for the floor, if your team is going up against a monster lineup, I'm going to go Devon Achane for the ceiling play.
Do me a favor, Chef, and go down to the last one at the bottom there, Topher Productions.
Yeah, sure. We can hit him next.
Yeah.
Topher Productions, welcome in. He goes, Raheem for 2 touchdowns versus the Bills, and Topher.
It's Topher, Juan. He's telling me it's Topher. That's my man, Topher, right there. Shout out to Topher. Yesterday, you know what he got to do, Chef? Something you haven't done, I haven't done, and probably nobody in this entire chat or anyone that's listening to this podcast has done. He gave Tom Brady a high five yesterday.
Wow.
Tom Brady was local. He was here at one of those card shops down here in Linwood, and all the kids, everybody went and showed up and tried to get, trade cards with him, traded jerseys, all kinds of stuff. And he showed up with Kevin Hart, Travis Scott. They were all there hanging out. And my man Topher was giving Tom Brady a high five yesterday.
And I'm just
Shout
hearing
out to
about
Toph.
this now. I would have been over there in line with all the kids pushing them out of the way to get something
You would
signed.
have taken all the jerseys off the wall.
I mean, I have a Mel Gibson T-shirt. It says Mel Gibson is the only true patriot. I would love Tom Brady to sign that.
I don't know if he would have signed that.
Yeah,
probably. So yeah, shout out Toph.
Minnie Jordan coming back in. He says full PPR, choose 3: Mixon, Achane, James Cook, Kyron, Kamara. Ooh.
You want to start Kamara that first game back, right?
No,
it's against the Bucs though.
No, I don't want to start Kamara on the first game back.
But you're
with
starting
Jameis Winston possibly playing at quarterback. I'm gonna go with the middle 3.
Yeah, Kyron, and then the
Dolphins we kind of pushed Mixon out. That was when Juan first came and joined us. We had this same exact scenario where it's Mixon, Achane, James Cook, Kyron, and we could throw Kamara in the mix. I still lean the middle 3 here at Devin Achane, James Cook, and Kyron.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Cook and Kyron. And between Achane and Kamara, I guess for this week with the matchup, let's go Achane.
Sounds good. And all in one show, they want to know, start Russell Wilson or Lamar Jackson. They say that they have a feeling that Russ might go crazy today.
It's the matchup, man. Like, you have to take it. You got to. This has ever been a right game. And Sean Payton is the consummate professional. He was embarrassed last week. I think they bounce back, and I think Russ might go crazy, like you're saying, and have a really good game. Plus Lamar's matchup, again, it's so tough going up against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, I mean, Russell Wilson, QB 10 on the year so far. He's been putting up some numbers last 2 games, over 300 passing yards and at least a touchdown in each of the last 2 games. Yeah, I might go Russ myself.
Yeah. Russ over Lamar. Crazy world we're living in right now.
You just can't trust it, man. And Lamar just had a great game against Indy, but it's that matchup against Cleveland that I am afraid of. Without 2 receivers, Rashad Bateman and OBJ, he's got a little bit less of an outlet to drop the ball down. Yeah, give me Russ.
Yeah, let Russ cook.
Give me Russ. And if he doesn't do it this week, throw him to the waivers. No, you don't do that. Don't. And Kicks from Mike says, man, Ritter looks bad. Yes. And it's not necessarily his fault either. We can go back to Ryan Tannehill in the Arthur Smith system where
Mariota, didn't matter who you put in there.
It doesn't matter who's at quarterback. It's the system that takes away the quarterback production.
Yep.
And we only saw it when the running game was truly elite.
When Henry was doing over 2,000 yards.
Henry was going over 2,000 yards. He was getting 30 carries, and we saw A.J. Brown open in that play action calling, and that's what you're looking for in this offense. And unfortunately, Ritter doesn't have the eyes that Ryan Tannehill has.
Which is saying a lot, because Tannehill's all like on his last leg and struggling kind of a bit. He's always been a teeter kind of quarterback, especially when we're talking about fantasy. Like, I know we're saying that he looks bad because he looks bad at football in general. Ritter, he just doesn't seem to be making the decisions on time. Like, everything feels like it's a tick too late. One pitter patter of the ball too long before he throws it. Then he's got Kyle Pitts streaming down the middle of the field wide open, and he overthrows him by 10 yards.
Yeah, I mean, Desmond Ritter has already been sacked 3 times in this game.
Oof.
And he's already thrown 2 interceptions. He's 9 for 14 for 73 yards.
Yeah, it's not a good offense. That's not a good look.
No.
And that's a shame, because that offensive line is one of the top 5 offensive lines in football. They have a really good running game with Algier and Bijan. They should be able to move the ball, but nobody respects them. They stack the box. They guard one-on-one on the outside, and they just say, I dare you, Desmond Ritter, to beat me. And so far, he can't beat anybody.
Yeah, no, I don't think it happens for Ritter, man.
It hurts so bad for the London shares and the Pitts shares, even Bijan himself. Like, it's just, if that offense had a competent quarterback, they might be one of the most fun teams to watch in football.
Well, stay tuned for next year, because one's coming.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Johnny Be Good, what's going on? He says Judy Hollywood Brown, Hoboken Brown today.
Hoboken.
Pierce half-point PPR. He says Nico Hollywood or Brees full PPR. So it's two different
teams,
questions.
2 different lineups.
Judy Hollywood or Pierce. I'm going to go with Judy here.
Yep, Judy.
Hollywood was dealing with some kind of an injury.
And he's dealing with the 49ers.
And the 49ers. So, and
Pierce has the Steelers with no
Pierce
O-line.
has the Steelers with no O-line, which, Pierce is a great trade target right now, especially after this game. It's a buy low opportunity because his schedule opens smack open probably in the same time where Laramie Tunsil comes back to the offensive line.
Yeah.
But for all intents and purposes right now, I'm going to go Jerry Jeudy here. Yep. Hopefully he's getting back on the field healthy and see him do something against this abysmal Chicago Bears defense.
Yeah. All backup players on the Bears.
This one, though, the Nico Hollywood or Brees full PPR, I'm going Nico Collins here.
Yep. Even though it is against the Steelers and it's a tough matchup, you're going to have to throw the ball. There might be playing from behind.
Oh, absolutely. But I don't think it's a tough matchup from a passing standpoint.
I don't know. That pass rush is so real. I know
pass rush is real. He gets sacked
so much.
He's going to get sacked. He's used to getting it sacked, but he's been throwing for over 300 yards the past 2 games. So I'm with it. They are going to move the ball. They can't move the ball against Pittsburgh on the ground. We know this. Right. So what are they going to do? They're going to rely on the silky smooth passes from CJ Stroud, and they're going to rely on their offense to pass the ball with Nico Collins, Tank Dell, even Robert Woods in flex consideration for this matchup up against the Colts. Yes. No, Pittsburgh Steelers.
The Steelers.
Sorry.
Yeah.
My apologies. And Topher wants to know Raheem for 2 touchdowns versus the Bills.
No, that's what he said.
Oh, that's what he said. Yeah. My bad. All right. All in one show wants to know start 3. Diggs, Olave, Waddle, and Nakua. Well, you're playing Diggs.
You have to.
You're playing Olave. Do we have to? Yes. I would say yes.
Oof. I don't know about that.
I mean, he's a slam dunk in my book.
Even with Jameis? Doesn't matter?
No, it doesn't matter because he's the stretch the field receiver, him and Rashid Shaheed. I think if Jameis is throwing a bomb, it's going to go to Olave. Olave should see a little bit more depth in targets.
So then
today.
The real question is going to be
Waddle coming off the injury in the same game as Diggs, or
Puka against the Colts.
I like Puka against the Colts too.
It's a really good matchup. That's the problem. Like normally you wouldn't even think about it, but coming off an injury, playing against the tough Bills defense that hasn't given up 300 total yards yet in a single game. They feels like the Bills defense is back. It feels like they're kind of getting themselves back on track. Even though the Dolphins are crazy offense and all that, I might lean Puka out of those then.
I'm going to lean Puka just for week 1 coming back from what we saw Waddle take a break last week.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of playmakers on this team.
It was an oblique injury too, so it doesn't take too much to like hurt your oblique. And he also didn't he clear concussion protocol as well? So he's been a little bit banged up this year. So
I'm going to go with Nakua, Olave, and Diggs. I'm leaving Waddle out of this one, and only because the matchup is better for Nakua. I think that's a safe assessment.
Let's do it.
And Zach wants to know, fellas, I watched Tom's 700th touchdown pass jersey sell for $1.2 million last night at auction.
A milli. Wow. Yeah, they were all there, Chef, yesterday at the Ocean. Now, we weren't supposed to talk about it beforehand, but last night there was so many celebrities and stars.
Giving me the inside scoop, man. I was sitting here on my couch.
I should have, and you could have gone over there with all the stars, Chef. They were all out last night.
Yeah, I would have been passing out business cards, asking for people if they needed a mortgage, fantasy advice. I could have done it all.
Yeah, you did.
We would have had Tom here in studio with us this morning.
You might have, if anybody was going to convince him, it might have been you.
Yeah,
you might have been the guy.
Come on, Tom, we got to go. We got to do this.
So yeah, he was there. Kevin Hart, Travis Scott, Meek Mill was there. Tons of celebrities were all in attendance. It was a huge blackjack tournament and a charity event, which was being hosted by Kevin Hart. But it was very hush hush, very quiet. They usually do it in Vegas. We got lucky enough that it came this year, and then it was happened to be at the Ocean Casino, but we weren't allowed to say anything about it.
All right, Kicks for Mike coming back in with a tight end question. He wants to know, is the Muth loose, Kincaid, or Hunter Henry this week? I mean, they are all good options.
Yeah, there's not a bad option amongst the bunch.
I'm going to go with Freiermuth here.
Finally have a really, really good game.
Yeah.
it's out of these guys, kicks for Mike is going to be whoever falls in the end zone. Like usually it's the tight end out of this group that scores a touchdown or has that 30, 40 yard, broken play kind of deal where they get a little bit down the field. But they're not bad options, but I'll go with the chef and go Fryermuth.
Yeah, I'm not gonna trust the matchup.
Kincaid scares me because they're still using Dawson Knox and they throw the ball so much to Diggs.
And the linebacker matchup with Long Jr. up against Dawson Knox, it's not a good matchup.
Yeah, David Long's good.
It's not a good matchup. So I'm good with the Fryermuth. Let him loose.
The Muth is loose.
Yeah, I think that's your bet there. And we talked about Larry Addison earlier. He jumps in and joins us. He says, "Good morning, guys."
Good morning.
He wants to know Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase,
Brian
Robinson Jr., and Jerome Ford. Start two of them, and with either of the other two be better in the flex spot than DK Metcalf?
No, on the answer to that last question. I'm going to start DK Metcalf in the flex.
I'm firing up Jamar Chase with confidence that Burrow put in a full week's worth of practice, and he's going up against the worst pass defense in the league with Tennessee.
I agree with that. And I'm going to take Ford over Mixon. Or Brian Robinson, I'm not touching because against the Eagles defense. So I'm leaving that totally alone. But I'm going to take Ford over Mixon after what Zach Moss was able to do last week against the Ravens. I think that the limitations to Watson's shoulder and whether or not he's healthy and all that.
Yeah, I think they lean on the run. Yes, Kareem Hunt will be obviously active in this game, but I think Jerome Ford has solidified the starting role.
And he looks good. He looks explosive. He looks like a legit NFL running back. He doesn't look like a replacement
we were waiting for, especially in I know I come from more of a dynasty background, but this is where we've been waiting for Jerome Ford to step up into the role. Unfortunately, it happened with the Nick Chubb injury. Yeah.
Yeah, good tilt though, LA.
Kick Mike says he agrees with us on the Muth is loose. Let's go with Zach. It was for Meek's reform. He started a few years back. Oh,
nice.
That's nice.
I'm sure Zach was right there in on all that action.
I would be too.
Yeah, right now.
I'd be sitting down at the poker table if I could. Ball Glove Blueprint wants to know, pick one PPR, Ayuk or Puka Nacua?
Puka.
Ayuk dealing with a little bit of injury. Not too much.
Yeah, he's still coming back from it. You don't know with that offense who's going to be the one that scores a touchdown. He was getting all the looks down in the red zone before. I'd rather trust the matchup. If I'm going up against the Colts defense and I can fire up Puka, who's been getting tons of targets all year, I think I'm going to go that way.
Oh, man, this is a tough one, dude.
That's a really good tilt.
I mean, you can't go wrong with either or, in my opinion. I'm going to go with Puka Nacua. Consistency throughout week in, week out with the target share. Yes, he didn't get into the end zone last week. Doesn't mean he won't this week. Ayuk.
He had a monster game one, but then that was it. Game two, he had 6 targets, 3 catches for 43 yards. So that team plays a certain way. Sometimes it's a divisional rival, even though they're supposed to be a really bad team. They've been playing out of their minds right now. And I'd rather trust Puka to continue rolling.
Yeah, give me Puka.
Yeah.
Give me Puka. It's going to be close, and I think Brandon Ayuk is a good matchup too, but I think the floor is safe with Puka Nacua, and you have the same kind of ceiling. That's a good one too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of tough tilts today, and a lot of them involving Puka, a lot of them Ramondre Stevenson. There's been a lot of similar tilts. Everybody wants to know about that Bills and Dolphins game and who to play. I'm excited for that game, Chef.
Yeah, and guess what? We've got a touchdown in the game. Apparently,
Falcons scored, huh?
Falcons finally scored. The score is now 17-7. And
I know Bijan had a 38-yard carry.
It was a Drake London 15-yard touchdown.
Wow.
All right. So, hey, there we go. London in London. Getting things done.
Score, huh?
Yeah. But as of right now, I think Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence are just marching down the field. They just had a pass first down. It's, let's see, 11 minutes left in the third quarter here. It's 17-7. Atlanta losing at the moment to the home team, Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, isn't that weird. They sit there and they say the Jacksonville Jaguars are the home team. When is this franchise moving to London?
Never, but they want them there. They Jaguars, like they call them. They love their Jaguars over there.
Jaguars.
Yes, because you're never going to get players to be able to relocate. There's going to be a lot of problems with taxes and all that other type of situation. And who's going to live in who wants to live in London voluntarily? Like if you could live in Florida and in Jacksonville somewhere, why would you move to London?
They're talking about trying to get it to where they actually have a team there full time, or
Germany too.
Start a European NFL kind of thing going around.
That's what they should definitely do. 100% start a smaller league. I've always wanted that dream where we adopted the system that they have, over in Europe, where at the NFL add 8 teams, the top 20 play in the top division, and the bottom 20 play in the second tier.
Oh, like the Premier League.
Exactly. So the top 3 teams in the bottom 20, they move up every year. And if you finish 18, 19, or 20, you get relegated to the second tier league, to the B league. So NFL A and NFL B. And that's how you could introduce 8 teams. Go Mexico City with it. You can bring Canada into it. I know they have their CFL, but Toronto would love a team. I'm sure they would love to have a team. Right. And then you end up you go to Germany with a team, you go to London, Manchester. I think it could work.
This just in. We have breaking news.
We do have some breaking news, Juan, and it is about starting quarterback Deshaun Watson is officially inactive today versus the Ravens. Dorian Thompson-Robinson will be getting the start. Juan, switch your roster right now in our league of record to because we are playing against each other in our dynasty league. And Juan was starting Deshaun Watson.
And you know who's my backup?
Who's your backup?
Jimmy G.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh, am I gonna play some waiver wire blocking right now? Let's just jump on there.
Probably not.
Well, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, I think he's already
rostered.
Yeah, he's already rostered in the league, and so is Aiden O'Connell. I think he was picked up yesterday. Yep. So
I'm starting a regular player in the super.
You're going to put Mike Evans in your flex.
I am.
Yay! Go Chef.
Go
Chef on that one. Oh, Michael Hyde joining in. What's up, Hyde? He says, morning, boys. He goes, half point PPR flex for both Jacobs, Kamara, Judy, Michael Thomas, or Atwell. Half point PPR flex. So Jacobs, Kamara, or Judy. I'm kind of leaning Judy here, but you like the Jacobs thing, huh?
No, I'll take Judy.
I'll take Judy. And then Michael Thomas or Atwell.
Oh, floor Thomas, ceiling Atwell?
I think it's Atwell, regardless.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. That's really tough, though, between those two. But
that's a good one. The second one, the Michael Thomas and Atwell one, it's like it's close, but we know Michael Thomas isn't the first option on that team. And for that reason, I think just Atwell's going to get more targets, probably more work, and he has a better matchup. Adam Rush coming in. He says, needs some running back and defensive help on waivers. Any sleepers to target? So sleepers as far as waiver wire options.
Okay.
For running backs, let's see.
While Chef is checking on the running backs, I'm going to go over some defenses with you, Adam Rush, that might have something to say today. So not a bad start to start the Chargers today, if they're available, against Aiden O'Connell, young quarterback. That offense has been struggling. I wouldn't mind starting them. Bosa and Mack are healthy. Derwin James is healthy, so maybe they can make a couple splash plays for you. I wouldn't hurt to start, believe it or not. The Houston Texans isn't a bad play. The Houston Texans defense against Kenny Pickett, who does turn the ball over a little bit, might not be a bad play either. That's about the extent of it after that, because the other ones are all looking kind of rough.
And I did mention Jaylen Warren earlier in this broadcast. He is 60% rostership, so I don't know if you're going to be able to get him, and that's an ESPN formats or platform rather. Gus Edwards, 46.7% might be out there for you. Roshan Johnson, 44.7%. That's another option. Elijah Mitchell could get a extra flow, but he is a little banged up.
Right, but they could get a lot of work because, like I said, they have Dallas next week, so they might try to keep some of their star players on a little bit of a pitch count. And you might not see 20 carries out of McCaffrey today. It might be more like 12, 15 carries instead.
And Adam Rush, how dare you ask this question? Maybe Matt Breida is available on your waivers. He's going to get a full workload.
Yeah,
Saquon has been marked out.
I guess you could do worse.
I mean, you could. Is there another option where you could put him on, like...
There might be some defenses too that look a little bit better than the one that I'm looking at, but I feel like the Chargers, out of the ones that are definitely available, the Chargers and the Texans have the kind of best possibility for having a good game.
Chargers and the Texans, huh?
Yeah, Chargers for sure.
I don't really want to play Josh Kelly. Oh, you're saying for defense?
Yeah, for a defense. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, no, I don't love Joshua Kelly. I'm not advocating for him at all. But I am advocating for the Chargers defense to be able to do something against the Raiders, who've been dismal anyway, and then they don't have Jimmy G, so it's a good matchup.
I mean, that's fair.
Yeah, I might put them in my dailies. They should be really cheap in DFS today.
Do you think Roschon Johnson can actually get something done? Denver's defense, terrible. Adam Rush said he already scooped Breida, so he's there. He's right there with us.
Yep.
Chuba Hubbard is another running back that I would be targeting on waivers. I wrote it here. Actually, it's scrolling right there. Tajay Spears, Chuba Hubbard, Jameson Williams. Check your waiver wire for him. Aiden O'Connell, obviously, and now Dorian Thompson-Robinson actually showed up pretty good.
Yeah, no, man, he runs the ball. He's got an electric arm. He's good, man.
Yeah. I'm hoping that helps you out a little bit. And Hyde wants to know, with the breaking news, do I keep Cooper Kupp in both those leagues?
Amari Cooper.
Yeah,
keep him in.
Oh, Amari Cooper.
Keep him in. Keep him in. The kid can throw the ball. If they're going to do anything and they're going to move the ball, the kid can play.
Yeah, I'm not
worried about it. If anything, he might even feed him a lot more than he throws it to anybody else. He might just be like, okay, you're the alpha, you're the number one, you're the guy that's screaming for the ball, and Amari Cooper's been open a lot this year. It's just that Watson doesn't look really good. Amari Cooper's one of the best route runners in football still, like consistently. He just doesn't get all the attention because he gets missed. But maybe this kid will have a good game for him today.
David Njoku banged up too. He had a little accident, fire pit accident.
Really?
Yeah, apparently he's got burns on his forehead and his face and his hands.
Oh, wow.
So he may not go today. He's definitely with the questionable tag. I have him listed on the ticker here.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he got drunk and fell into a fire pit.
That's
Friday
definitely
night?
Sounds like some adult beverages were involved in that.
Yeah,
situation.
or just like like a clumsy kind of fell into the fire pit, got all burned up.
Maybe sprayed something in there he shouldn't have. Maybe threw something in.
Maybe a firework was in there and it went poof. Who knows?
JPP.
Yeah, rest in peace. Anyway, they don't know if he's going to be able to play. They don't know if they can get the helmet on his head.
That's rough.
And that's all.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Be safe out there, people.
Yeah. Stay away from fire.
Yeah. So drop them in the chat, guys. We got a little bit of time left. We got about 15 minutes. Yeah, coming.
That was a little early. That was a little early for them.
It was, and it was about a half hour ago that they did that. So surprising, but guess he's not going to be healthy enough to go. We will keep you posted on anything that's popping through right now. But that is the up-to-date moment going on. Right now we've got the Atlanta Falcons taking the ball out of their own 10-yard line and rushing up to the 17 was Bijan Robinson. Bijan just looks phenomenal.
Yeah, he's getting all the work now too. At the beginning, you saw him like slowly being integrated, and it was Algier getting more of the bulk, the bulk of the carries. But now Algier only has 5 carries for 17 yards,
and Bijan has 12 for 64, 2 first downs. 12 for 71 now, and 4 for 26 through the air.
Yeah, he had a 38-yard run earlier too, which he didn't break it all the way, but that's a big gain.
Bolstering my Scott Fishbowl roster with 20.7 points already, and we're only in the third quarter. Evan Ingram, pick it up. 3 for 11. I need you to score, buddy. Let's go.
I'm gonna need that too.
Oh man, I'm hoping Evan Ingram has a great game. I really do, but I don't know if it's gonna come today. We'll see. I mean, if Atlanta keeps moving the ball, we'll see more of these pass catchers do what they need to do. I need a Christian Kirk touchdown. Why I put money on Christian Kirk, and I just looked at it. I was checking the matchups, and I said, "Yeah, this looks kind of juicy here."
You're still probably digesting the paper from last year, the Christian Kirk.
Yeah, I mean, I
sucks
should have put it
paper.
on the Calvin Ridley side of things after coming off of a pretty much of a donut last week.
Yeah, 2 straight duds. Yeah, 2 games where he wasn't very good.
And there we go again, seeing Kyle Pitts catch a ball 20 yards out on the outside, and then puts his foot on the out of bounds marker, and it's a no pass. Why? Why can't they just connect? You have the best tight end.
Yeah.
Yes.
Arguably,
Wait,
skill set wise, yes.
Skill set wise, receiving wise,
yes.
He is one of the best pass catchers in the league, you can say.
Period. Yes.
Yet they can't get the ball to him.
I don't understand it.
I call bullshit.
Yeah. There's got to be some kind of reason. Oh, Bijan just broke another long run.
Oh, yeah. We're going to watch that real fast. Oh, yeah. That looks great. Keep it coming.
Special.
Keep it
he looks
coming.
special.
Oh, yeah. That's great. And then Hyde said, forgot to put McLaurin in the Judy tilt.
You can leave him right where he's at. You can leave McLaurin right where he's at. Against the Eagles and the production this year, the way it's been happening.
Against Darius Slay, shadow coverage from Darius Slay. I want to say that I was doing some research on this, and I have to double check myself because I read it in one article this week, and I wanted to see the splits. Now, let's see if I can find it. Yes. All right. So, on the weeks that Terry McLaurin went up against Darius Slay, we go all the way back to 2020 week 1. And McLaurin, 5 for 61 on 7 targets. All right, now you got to remember that it was like Carson Wentz throwing the football at this time. 7 for 40 and 1 touchdown on 8 targets. Same season last week of the season. It was week 17. We weren't playing 18 games yet. Week 15, 2021, 2 for 51 on 4 targets. Week 17 in 2021, 7 for 61. Now, we move forward to last year, 2022, week 3, McLaurin, 6 for 102 on 9 targets versus Darius Slay. Week 10, 8 for 128. All right. What do we want here? Do we want kind of a floor between 6 and 7 receptions and 100 yards, or maybe 80 yards? That's where it's difficult. And we put Jerry Jeudy in the mix going up against a crappy Chicago defense.
I'm going with Jerry Jeudy. I don't trust the Mandos to do anything. They got intercepted 4 times last week.
True.
Sam Howell did against the Bills. I think the Eagles defense is better than the Bills defense. I think no matter what the Mandos do, they're not going to be able to stop the Eagles or do anything against that team. And he might get that garbage, like you're saying, and he might get 8 for 100 or something. Maybe. But like it's such a huge maybe that they even produce offensively. And I don't trust Sam Howell right now, and that offense is going to get it right against that vaunted Eagles defense. I think it's going to be ugly for the Mandos. I want no part of that. I'll take my chances with no corners, no safeties, and the Chicago's got no one playing. Like I don't think I've ever seen a team not have any of their starting nickel package available. Like that's just wild to me.
All right. The only thing that I'm going to add with this one is, and it's a great tilt. And for context, I think I'm going to go with McLaurin here. The only reason is he is the number 1 wide receiver on that team. The targets are guaranteed. If Denver, for some reason, gets ahead against Chicago, which I believe they will, we could see more of a tandem of Javonte Williams, Samaje Perine just slamming the ball down. Don't forget Jaleel McLaughlin in the backfield as well, adding in some rest for those two. So I'm leaning McLaurin here. I don't want to take him out of my lineup if I don't have to. He's been consistent across the board. I think he has a safe floor of at least 10 fantasy points. Jeudy, 5 for 81 last week. The week before against Washington, only 3 for 25.
But he's been coming back from injury now. They've been bringing him back a little bit slowly. But it's just the matchup is too juicy for me.
This is a good one. Could this be our second half show going on? Yeah, I guess it could
now
be.
He said he forgot to put him in that. So
wait.
So there were other options.
Yeah, let's try to go back to the Hyde one. So it's the Judy tilt. Let's see. I gotta find it. Oh man, that was from before. Hyde, you're screwing up our show, Hyde. No, just kidding.
He's making it happen.
Nah, Hyde's cool. Let's see here. Am I looking for the wrong person? Is that the problem here? Yes. All right. So I'll bring it back up. He says half point PPR flex, Jacobs, Kamara, Judy, or McLaurin.
Right.
I think I'm gonna go McLaurin here.
I'm gonna go Judy.
Damn, we're torn. Swanson, where are you?
Yeah, right. Swanson would be the deciding vote right here.
I mean, join in the chat, and if you're in the chat and you're watching this, and there are a couple people still here, tell us what you think. We're gonna get the tilt squad involved.
Why
in
not?
This one.
All they do is win trophies and whatnot.
Yeah,
so
I mean, they know better than we do.
Yeah. Would you start Judy or McLaurin?
Judy or McLaurin? That is the question. It's a good one. I think this is a harder tilt than the original Jacobs, Kamara, or Judy, which I believe we went Judy on.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, they're neck and neck. Personally, I mean, I could check my rankings, and that would be my.
You probably have McLaurin higher because naturally I would. He's the number one on an offense. It's Eric Bieniemy. They're supposed to be good. He's
getting his target share no matter what.
Right. But just that the offense looked so bad last week, and I've been seeing what the Eagles are doing, and they're a different kind of animal up front, and I think they might just demolish the Mandos today.
Kicks for Mike saying Judy. I have them like 5 spots apart in my rankings.
It's splitting hairs when you get to this level of wide receiver. Once you get past those elite top end options that you can't bench, it really is difficult.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think I'm going to go Judy here, and hopefully it works out for you in that favor. They're both a wide receiver 3 in my books today. But I think you're right against that crappy defense. Judy should do some work.
It has to. There's no way that you get replaced.
I just hate that game script that it could just be a neutral game script, and they don't need to do too much through the air.
Maybe they do go heavy Javonte P. Ryan.
I mean, it's a definite question mark on both sides because, hey, what happens if Justin Fields decides that he's actually going to play some backyard ball and run all over the place,
right,
and keep this game interesting?
Well, then it's a shootout, and you throw the ball a little bit to Judy. I mean, I don't know what to expect from that game. That's really the most topsy-turvy anything could happen game. That game could be 3-0, and it could end up 51-48 in the most epic shootout you've ever seen in your life because nobody can stop anybody else.
Big Greens coming in with a good tilt here. Big Greens. Are we starting Kenneth Walker or Devon Achane in PPR today?
Walker. For all the reasons against the Giants, give me Monday night. He's been looking explosive. Give me Walker.
He scored 2 touchdowns last week, and I think it continues Monday night against the Giants. It's just a great matchup there. And Devon Achane, he has a little bit more competition for his fantasy production. Kenneth Walker, not so much. We know he's getting the work.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one, though.
Yeah, I feel you, Big Greens, but he is a bad man. I'm old enough to remember this, and you are too, Chef, even though you don't look at or like to talk about it, but you're old enough to remember CJ2K.
Oh, yeah.
And CJ2K came out of East Carolina. Nobody knew who he was. Much like HN, he was drafted at the very end of drafts by guys in the know who knew how to pick him, including your boy, yours truly. And I just said, you know what? The speed that kid runs with, there's got to be a moment where they give him the ball and he just starts breaking long runs. And he looked like that. Like he is gone when he hits a hole. So, I mean, he is a bad man. It's just that the Bills defense is really, really good right now. So if I had to pick, I'm going to go with Kenneth Walker.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the easier matchup.
Yeah. And Walker looks good too. It's a different kind of, back. But, they both look promising for the future. I'd love to have either one in Dynasty.
And I'm hearing that David Njoku is going to go.
He's going to give it a go with the burns.
He's going to give it to go with the facial burns.
Tough son of a gun. That dude's built a way where it's
shout out Jersey.
Yeah. It's in the water.
He actually went to the same high school as my nephew.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. All right. Zach comes in. Jacobs, Mostert, Josh Kelly, Javonte need 2 running backs.
Javonte Mostert?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's your safest bet today.
Yeah.
I mean, I want a big game from Jacobs.
Me too.
I'm sure every Jacobs manager wants a big
of
game.
Course.
But I'm really concerned about that offense. And I think the odds are that what's the coach there in Vegas?
McDaniels.
Josh
McDaniels
with a plural.
Yeah, Josh.
Josh McDaniels is like the odds-on favorite right now to be
the first one fired.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's only because the Bears are stubborn and won't fire their coach midseason, and they never have, and they pride themselves on, we made our commitment. Like, get Eberflus out of there, whatever the hell's going on with that offense. Like, figure something out. You got a weapon like Fields and DJ Moore and all these guys. Cole Kmet, he's dead in the water. Like, what happened to that? You know, like, there's talent there. Mooney, we've seen him look great. We've seen him cook Jalen Ramsey. Like, the kid can play ball. And they have no way to get it to those guys. I don't believe in that team and that system whatsoever. But McDaniels, you're probably right, he might be the first guy fired.
Yeah, it might happen this week.
I've never liked McDaniels, especially for fantasy purposes. Like, he just kills you.
And Big Greens comes back in. He says, "Do me a favor, as a Giants fan, tell Saquon to play. Can't start Kenneth Gainwell anymore." Yeah, I mean, you can't start Kenneth Gainwell. I'm still holding on to him. I had a tough decision this week in our league of record, Juan, and I'm sure you picked up on it. I had to either keep Kenneth Gainwell or Antonio Gibson.
I saw you drop Gibson.
It was a very, very tough choice.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that tough, because one little tweak, one little anything, and then Gainwell's all of a sudden running behind that old line with the starting role, because they don't like Rashad Penny for anything.
Oh no, Penny's a backup.
He's dead.
He's a backup.
And if they had Boston Scott, Penny would be fourth in the pecking order, because they still use Boston Scott more. So Gainwell's just, they both get the same amount of opportunities. It's just that Swift's been making the most of it. He makes the second level guy miss, and then he's off on a 25, 30-yard run, and he starts piling up the stats.
All right, and we got a little update here on the injury front.
Oh, it is that
coming
time.
in from Field Yates, officially active. Derek Carr is officially active.
All right.
So
I don't know, man.
I'm still rolling with my place right now. I don't think it changes too much. The deep ball, I mean, might be an issue.
Yeah,
you might see a little bit of shorter dump down passes. We got Alvin Kamara active today.
And Thomas underneath is going to get work.
Yeah. David Njoku officially active. So he's going. We talked about that. Justice Hill from the Ravens officially active. That just throws a wrench in everything.
Yeah. Now who knows?
Yeah.
With him and Gus Edwards.
I think Justice Hill is
tough matchup. Yeah, I think it's Hill's the guy you start if you had to tilt between the two.
Correct.
But it's still a really tough matchup going up.
Yeah. And then officially active, Miles Sanders. We talked about him with the groin injury, got injured later on in the week, but apparently he is good to go. They tested it out, and the groin is good to go.
That groin thing is tough, and he's been getting only 60% of the snaps. He's not one of those guys that's getting 70, 75%. The offense hasn't looked great to begin with. So, like, I would still stash Chuba Hubbard if I'm a Miles Sanders owner. I would try to handcuff him.
Yeah, I would even argue that Chuba Hubbard could be a sneaky play today? For DFS. Now that Miles Sanders is actually active,
he
may be on a snap count and no one's paying attention to it.
Yeah, and you start Chuba Hubbard and he goes all for you. That's a sneaky little play right there. Contrarian play.
Big Greens. Do you guys have Javonte or Madison PPR? Definitely leaning Javonte, but
I hear you. That's a big but.
Yeah,
but no, Javonte it is.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with Javonte. I agree with you there, Big Greens. Madison, I'm not a really big fan of his play. No. He is not the running back that I expected when I picked him up as the backup to Dalvin Cook, and this goes back years now because I was waiting to offload Alexander Madison because I watched those games where he was the starting running back, and yes, the production was good, but it was at a necessity.
Right.
That he was there and he only had a couple spot plays. Now that we're seeing a full entourage of his workload, I don't think he does it. He has problems holding on to the ball. He has problems reading the defense. He's not patient when he's looking for the hole in the offense. Those are problems you can't fix.
Nope. And you know who is patient and runs like Lev Bell used to with that pitter patter? Cam Akers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So it's only a matter of time before Akers takes over.
Yeah, I think I agree with that statement 100%. And one of the reasons why I'm holding on to Cam Akers everywhere I can right now is in the hopes of today that Cam Akers shows his face and starts to eat into some of that, into those carries. But yeah, I'm definitely leaning Javonte for this question. Big Greens, good tilt there.
Yes, sure.
Zach wants to know Godwin, Metcalf, Waddle, Sutton, Tank Dell, Michael Thomas. Need 2 wide receivers and a flex. All right. So Metcalf, you got him, right?
Yeah.
Tank Dell?
Damn, I mean, what kind of team is this, bro? Like, why can't I what league are we in that we have those 6 receivers? Like, it's crazy.
All right. Well, Metcalf is a lock, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a problem with locking him in there.
If we're going to do 3 of them, yeah.
All right. So Metcalf you have there. It's definitely lock up against Deontay Banks, against the Giants. Waddle?
You got to give me Sutton and Waddle with the matchups. Let's do it. Metcalf, Waddle, Sutton.
I think Tank Dell has a better matchup.
But against, again, that Steelers defense is going to be relentless. I'm a little scared of what they're going to do with that rookie quarterback and then no O-line there with the Texans. I mean, I don't know what's worse, the Bears not having their entire secondary or the Texans not having left tackle center. Oh, and I remembered his name is Titus Howard. That's the right tackle that's out too. So no Howard, no Tunsil, no Quisenberry at the center position. That's tough, dude, on a rookie quarterback and a young football team. I don't want to mess with that.
I mean, that would add to the dump down passes short range for Tank Dell, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah, maybe a lot of some bubble screens or jet sweeps and things of that nature. But I'll trust the full workload from Sutton and Metcalf as alpha wide receivers, and then Waddle for the big plays in the matchup against the Bills.
I think it's a toss up between Waddle and Tank Dell, to be honest.
That's where the tilt is.
Yeah,
for sure. I'm starting Sutton and Metcalf. Now my problem is, what do I do with Waddle coming back off injury and Tank Dell? But I'm gonna go Waddle.
And it was a concussion, wasn't it?
It was a concussion. Before that, he had an oblique strain. So he missed last week because he didn't clear concussion protocol. But going into last week, he was still dealing with an oblique injury from earlier on in the season.
And he wasn't on the injury report at all this week. So we got a full week's worth of practice in. Oh man, this is tough.
It's tight, but give me Waddle over Tank Dell just because of
by a hair.
But it's
going to be close, man. It really is. I don't know how to say it, but it's going to be close. I'm going to go Tank Dell. Dude, Zach, this is a tough one, man.
Yeah, I'm going to go hit him with it. I'm going to go.
It's a tough one, and it'll take it from Tilt of the Week. All right, Tank Dell versus Jalen Waddle. Here we are once again needing Mr. Swanson to break our tie. Juan, I will go with you on Waddle. I don't feel good about it. I think Tank Dell has a great game, but I think they need Waddle to have a great game as well if they want to beat the Buffalo Bills.
We're not beating them with a dud game from him. And like you said before, no Barrios, no Craycraft. The targets don't really go to the tight end anyway. I think it's a healthy dose of Waddle today because they're going to focus in on Hill so much, and they got to worry about that running game a lot. So I think Waddle has a good game.
Okay. All right. This is going to be one I'm going to be watching a lot of because this is a great matchup. Tank Dell versus Jalen Waddle. I mean, we could put them both in, but then we would have to take out DK Metcalf or Cortland Sutton.
I don't want to do
both great matchups.
Yeah.
Don't want to do that.
Especially with Metcalf Monday night. Like, let me get that.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way for us to say it is take Michael Thomas out of this equation and go with your heart. If you think Waddle is going to have a great game against Buffalo, go for it.
You can't go wrong if you go.
And you can't go wrong with
Tank
Tank
riding
Dell.
a hot hand. He's playing well. Like, great.
He's getting the target share that you're looking for.
I would be sick to my stomach if that Bills and Dolphins game ends up a big shootout. And I missed out on Waddle going over 100 yards and getting a long touchdown.
I mean, it's the same thing, with Tank Dell, like 5 for 145 and a touchdown last week against Jacksonville. True. I mean, same thing against Indy, 7 for 72 on 10 targets. I think Tank Dell probably gets more target share, especially because they're not going to be able to run the ball against Pittsburgh.
Woof.
Yeah,
it's a really great tilt,
in my gut. I am saying Tank Dell. I am going to go for all intents and purposes to move on. I am going to agree with my co-host here in Juan saying that it's Jalen Waddle, but it is so close. We are definitely splitting hairs on this one.
Good tilt though, Zach. You should be good either way.
And then Blur Pay Is that like a blurpee?
Blurpee.
Blurpey wants to know, Rashad White or Josh Kelly? I'm kind of done with Kelly, and so were we.
I know. Yeah, but
I'm done with the experiment. The experiment's over. Josh Kelly's not good at football.
Hold on. It's still Rashad White though.
Yeah.
Against the Saints though. The Saints have shut everybody down defensively, dude.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do that. I think I'm going to go with Kelly going up against the Raiders and hoping that they're up big and he just gets a bunch of garbage carries and he wills himself to 20 for 73 and somehow gets in the end zone.
That's so tough.
It's a horrible tilt, Blurpy. I'm sorry that you're in that predicament and there aren't any like waiver wire options. It's so hard. There's nothing out there in the world that you can start and feel good about. I mean, do you start Jaylen Warren? Can you pick up Jaylen Warren in your league? Would you start Jaylen Warren over these two? Do you go that far? You go Tajay Spears against the Bengals?
I would go Warren over both of these guys.
Yeah. So
Tajay Spears, maybe not.
Yeah, maybe not that far.
Maybe Rashad White in that, just for the passing work, because he's going to need to catch some balls today. They're not going to be able to run against that New Orleans defense.
Yeah. So either he gets it in the PPR game, maybe, or Josh Kelly. It's a terrible tilt to be in. Like Blurpy, I feel for you, Doug, but Josh Kelly.
I'm hoping we see more of a week 1 Josh Kelly than week 2 or 3 Josh
week 1
Kelly.
With Eckler, he was so much better than he's been without him. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
I'm going Kelly.
Yeah, you have to hope that it finally gets itself right.
I'm staying away from that predicament of a bad game from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah, against the
Saints. It's going to be tough, and I don't think they're going to have much room to run the ball. That's a great tilt, though. I like that, Blurpy.
Shout out Big Greens in the chat saying the Saints haven't allowed over 20 points since November 7th last year against the Ravens. See what I'm saying? Like, yeah, our tilters know. Yeah, that defense is real.
Zach wants to know, Miles Sanders, Gus Edwards, KJ Osborne need one in the flex. I'm not trusting KJ Osborne.
Nope. And we just heard Justice Hill's playing.
But Gus Edwards has been a steady Eddie.
Hey, he's playing another tough defense, though. That Browns defense is real.
Do we trust Miles Sanders today, though?
Yeah.
With the groin injury?
You gotta ride him. I'm out of these three, I'm riding Miles Sanders.
All right.
I have to. I can't trust Gus's usage, and the matchup is absolutely terrible. And Osborne, I mean, he does get targeted. It's just that they haven't been connecting for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, in the same game as Miles Sanders. Just trying to think if Gus Edwards is even worth a shot. No, not up against Cleveland.
No.
All right, so yeah, it's Miles Sanders.
It's a tough tilt, but yeah, Miles Sanders.
Yeah, Big Greens. Try to get him off your roster.
Yeah, immediately.
I wouldn't even wait for today. I would ship him now. He has a great matchup, right?
Yeah.
He's got the great matchup. Do it now.
Yeah, if you can trade him before game time, that'd be a clutch move. But then who are you trading him for? What are you getting for him
right
now?
Yeah,
you
I mean, he probably will have a better day today.
Yeah, if he goes off and has a good day today, you're right. Like Tuesday, you can involve him in a package and get yourself an upgrade at another position or even at running back.
Hyde coming back in. He says Jacobs Kamara mix and too much tinkering on no sleep.
I'm going Kamara.
First game back.
Yeah. Yeah, Big Greens put it in the comments, like as far as being fresh legs, he hasn't really gotten too much work. He's going to come in thirsty, trying to do well. Carr's shoulders limited, so dump offs, PPR. It could be one of those games where he gets 8-10 catches. Even if he doesn't break one or produce too much, involvement should be enough to carry him over the other two, which I hate the situation with Jacobs because normally I'd be like slam dunk Jacobs.
Yeah, I think I might roll Jacobs in this.
I'll take Kamara over Jacobs. We could do one of those tilt things, water bet situations with Jacobs and Kamara.
I just think that Jacobs needs to have a good game, and he's going to be the offense. They're going to have to try to just run the ball.
Well, McDaniels is going to need him to have a good game.
Yeah. That's a tough one, man.
Yeah, give me Kamara for the yards. For the catches, I mean.
For the receptions. Yeah. If it's PPR, then yeah, Kamara, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so close.
Yeah.
But I like both of them over Mixon this week.
For sure.
Yeah.
Watch, this will be the week Mixon $165, 3 touchdowns. Nah, not against the Titans. Look at that there. See?
Yeah, I think we're going to see a fresh dose of Taysom Hill this week, too. I mean, we haven't even mentioned that yet.
Yeah, Big Greens is on it. And that's his squad. He knows his team.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Big Green's bench Mike Evans no matter what.
Yeah, and Zach's right. Like, I mean, Godwin does have good games against the Saints because they shut down Mike Evans, and there's really not another option. But I just feel like the Saints defense is now on a whole nother level. They're finally healthy, and Matthew made a big difference. Having Tyrann Matthew at the back end of that defense makes a big difference, calling plays and yelling and putting people in position. Doesn't let them give up too many big plays. So I trust them.
Adding into Blurpy's tilt, and his tilt was Kelly, Rachaad White. We're going to throw in Roschon Johnson here up against Denver. Do we play in the darkness with Roschon Johnson and this Chicago offense? I really don't want to. He's got a great matchup on paper against Denver, but we know Khalil Herbert's still there. Oh, man. And Big Green's chiming. He says, start Roschon easily. Yeah, I mean, we have so many doubts about Josh Kelly. We have our doubts against Rachaad White up against the Saints defense, which is, it's been shown.
Right.
I mean, Derrick Henry didn't even have a good game against the New Orleans Saints.
Right. They're shutting everyone down.
Man, Roschon it seems nasty.
Just give it to him. Let's go. Because, I mean, we're already beat down and jaded from starting Josh Kelly. Like, we're over it. We're done with it. So, and why would we start Rachaad White against the Saints? Might as well start Roschon and hope that what happened last week to the Broncos continues and that the Bears try to get right and run the ball and give it to Roschon as much as possible.
And I think the Chargers are just done trying to run the ball. They're going to throw the ball.
Probably. I mean, you got Herbert. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. All right, Big Greens. Good luck in fantasy this week, boys. Go Saints. Yeah, I'm down with that. Go Saints.
Go Saints all day, yeah. Especially against the Bucks.
Yeah, I don't like the Bucks.
Me neither.
All right. Well, that's it right now. I'm not going to go ahead and change the ticker. We discussed who was in and who was out. If anybody has any questions, write them in the chat.
Yes, sir.
But we're reaching the final minutes of the show here. Just want to go over maybe some last minute ins and outs, if any. You see anything out there? DeMar Hamlin is active today. That's awesome. Oh, we got a pop up. Jonathan Mingo is inactive today for the Panthers. I think that just adds fuel on the fire for Adam Thielen this week. Not so much DJ Chark. I wanted Chark to have a good game.
You want him to be a thing, man. We all do. Like I've been a fan of his for a long time, and when he first was in Jacksonville and he was coming up, I felt like he was going to be a talented wide receiver, a guy that made a big difference, but injuries have killed his career.
Yeah.
He's been plagued with injuries.
I'm trying to get an update on this Jacksonville game. Let's see here. I'll check the scores. It is 20-7 Jacksonville. They have the ball on Atlanta's 15-yard line, second down, 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. It's pretty much been a Bijan Robinson day. 14 carries, 105 yards, 5 receptions, 32 yards.
Good game from him.
ETN, disappointing. 13 carries, 37 yards, 3 receptions,
rough.
17 through the air. Algier, he is a question mark now moving forward after this game.
Yeah, because now it feels like it's Bijan's backfield. Like they finally realized, let's just give it to the guy that's really good at football.
I mean, it's looking more and more every week like now it's like a 65-35 split, especially in this game. As soon as they realize they can't run the ball every single play or they're not up, it's a Bijan game.
Right.
If it's a bad run matchup, then Algier comes into play. But I think he's just spelling it. Like you said, Bijan is the man, and he's going to show it. Christian Kirk, 8 for 84. I need you to get in the end zone, Christian Kirk. Could it happen this drive? I hope so, and I would share it on the stream, but we are not allowed to do that. I am sorry. But yeah, and Zach wants to know, do you two got any tilts in your lineups the Tilt Squad could help tilt over?
Oh, little payback. You know what? Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm down for that. I mean, I could check my lineups, I guess. My matchup? Not so much. I mean,
I do.
All right.
I do.
Talk about it.
DeAndre Hopkins, Cortland Sutton, Mike Evans, No, Mike Evans is on the bench. Never
All right,
mind.
we're
I'm not
taking out
tilting.
Mike Evans.
I'm not tilting.
You're not tilting.
I don't have any options.
I'm not really tilting in too many spots. I could check. I mean, I have so many
I got
leagues we can go in and out of
CeeDee
these.
Lamb, and I'm talking about beating you in the league of record.
Oh,
so
well, yeah, I'll give you all the advice you want.
Yeah. I already started Calvin Ridley, and he got me a touchdown, so that's okay. I got CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown still to go, and then I have D-Hop and Cortland Sutton playing because I don't want to start Mike Evans. And I lost Deshaun Watson and Jimmy G.
Now, Atlanta has the ball. It's 4th and 3. We saw Jonnu Smith just drop a pass in the end zone. Kyle Pitts, only 4 targets, 2 receptions, 21 yards. Is he droppable?
Is who droppable?
Kyle Pitts.
No. There's too much talent. I'll keep him on my bench. I'll get another tight end. I'll waiver it. But I'm not going to not waste a roster spot. I got to have him in there. There's at some point that thing's got to come together. There's just can't be. There's way too much talent for that to be a complete failure.
Fair.
I do have one.
Let's hear it.
Joshua Palmer. I need in my flex. I only need one player. My options are Joshua Palmer, Gus Edwards, Josh Kelly, Khalil Herbert, and Marvin Mims.
Ooh. I'm going to go with Palmer.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Palmer. Yeah. Upside matchup.
Yeah, I don't trust the running backs. I don't trust Herbert's usage. I don't trust Kelly for all the reasons we talked about before. Gus Justice Hill came back, so that was my reasoning for having Palmer in there right now. But I love that boy Marvin Mims.
Oh yeah, he's good.
You just can't count on the targets, right?
Yeah, not so much. And in this matchup, they may not need to pass the ball as much, and that's my fear. That was my fear with the Judy pick earlier, and that's my fear going forward. That like if the Bears defense is really that bad, they don't need to pass that much.
Now it's the
they
secondary
may not
because they have good linebackers.
They may not need to keep Russ in the game the whole game. They just run the ball. They have running backs. They're all healthy now.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll spread it around a little bit. I mean, Sean Payton.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess my tilts are done.
It's gonna be
a rough
really
day.
don't
it's gonna be a
have
rough
too
fantasy day
much.
for me, dude.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to make up for it. And yeah. My lineups are all banged up. All my guys are injured. It's rough out here.
I mean, you had ETN. Yeah, got the Ridley touchdown, but only 2 for 38 and a tutty.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Oh, and Evan Ingram fumbled the ball. That doesn't help out. 6 for 50 and a fumble. On 7 targets, which is great. And I probably should have played Trevor Lawrence against you today. I took Geno against the Giants instead.
That's still a good play. Shut up. It's still a good play. Yeah, that's going up against Cortland Sutton in the Superflex right now because of the injuries. So I'll be 1-3, Chef, but I'll see you in the playoffs.
I'll see you in the playoffs, dude.
Yeah,
I'm 2-1 right now. I do need Juan to have a bad day somehow, some way.
I already have. It's already started.
It has,
yeah,
hasn't it?
Yeah.
ETN not doing what he needs to do.
The Jaguar triple threat in my starting lineup is absolutely killing me. Starting Etienne, Ridley, and Evan Ingram every week is killing me.
Why are you doing that?
Because it's dynasty, and you get dealt the hand you're dealt. I had Ridley.
You didn't want to take a chance.
I had Ridley before. I had Ridley
before
he got suspended, and I have Evan Ingram since he's been a Giant. So like, I mean, just ended up that they're all on the same squad now. Nothing you can do about that.
I mean, every week that Drake London scores a touchdown, he's on my bench.
Yeah,
I can't do anything with him.
He has to be on the bench.
Yeah. 3 for 3 on 7 targets for 28 yards and a touchdown. That's just bad.
Silly stats, a new champion. Welcome back into the tilt.
Ooh, I like
a little
this
last
one.
minute, right under the wire.
Stroud or Russell Wilson? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Russ.
Of TJ Watt
I'll go Russ. I'll go Russ this week. It's a good tilt. And in the back of my mind, I'm still saying that they're just gonna run the ball, which they very well could. They can get up on Chicago, but I'll take Russ. I'll take Russ over Stroud this week. That defense is going to get Stroud a little bit of a problem, but I still think that he has a decent game. I think just Russ has a little bit of a better game.
Yep.
All right. You want to get out of here, Juan?
Let's roll.
All right, everybody. Thank you for coming in with your tilts each and every week. Hit that like and subscribe button on Twitter Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all those.
Yeah. Wherever you're watching us. Like it, subscribe it, come on back.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. We will check you out next week, 10 a.m. Juan and Mr. Swanson will be holding it down. I have a little personal endeavor that I need to take care of, but
we will hold it down.
Who maybe knows? Maybe I'll sneak in on a broadcast. Who knows? But We'll see what
A
happens.
little remote location. I like it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how hungover I am. I'm going to a wedding.
Ah, there it is.
Uh-huh. But everybody have a good week. Good luck on your games, and go Giants. Later.
Go Dolphins. Fins up, baby.
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Sunday Tilt. Visit us on YouTube at youtube.com/thetiltisreal and like and subscribe. We're live every Sunday from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you all next week on The Tilt is Real.